The trailer just dropped, and everything we thought we knew about the summer I turned pretty is about to change forever. Season 4 is not just a continuation, it feels like the show has been reborn. The story picks up with unresolved heartbreaks, shocking decisions, and characters who seem more conflicted than ever before. And honestly, the trailer is leaving fans more confused, more emotional, and more desperate for answers than at any point in this saga. So, let's break it down, because this is not the same Belly, not the same Conrad, and not the same Jeremiah we thought we knew. This is something entirely different. First things first, the trailer makes it clear. Belly's journey is far from over. Remember how Season 3 ended? We were left with Belly chasing after Conrad, finally declaring her love for him in what felt like the most rushed yet emotional finale possible. Well, now in Season 4, the trailer shows us the aftermath of that moment, and it doesn't look as picture-perfect as some fans might have hoped. Yes, Belly and Conrad are together, at least that's the impression we're given, but instead of a fairy tale romance, the trailer teases tension, awkward silences, and the heavy weight of everything they've been through. And let's be honest, this makes total sense. You don't just leap from years of messy love triangles, heartbreaks, and betrayals into happily ever after. Not in this story. And certainly not with these characters. Belly seems older, more mature, but also visibly conflicted. The trailer doesn't show her as the innocent teenager anymore. Instead, she's standing on her own 2 feet, but with an uncertainty in her eyes that screams she knows how dangerous this new chapter is. It's like she's asking herself the very same questions fans are asking. Did I make the right choice? Is Conrad really the one? Or am I once again just rushing into something without truly healing from the past? And that hesitation, that inner conflict, is exactly what makes this trailer so powerful. It doesn't sell us a perfect romance, it sells us the chaos of young love that refuses to settle down. Now, let's talk about Conrad, because this man is clearly carrying a mountain of unresolved emotions. The trailer doesn't paint him as the charming love interest we've seen flashes of in the past. Instead, he looks serious, almost haunted. He's with Belly, but he doesn't look entirely at peace. And maybe that's the point. Conrad has always been the brooding, mysterious figure who feels everything so deeply, but rarely speaks it out loud. In Season 4, it looks like those emotions will finally boil over. The way he looks at Belly in the trailer, it's not just love. It's fear, it's doubt, it's regret, all tangled together. And the question is, can Conrad finally let go of the past? Or will the same insecurities that destroyed them before come crashing back again? Of course, the trailer couldn't ignore Jeremiah. Oh yes, he's back, and honestly, he might be the biggest wild card in this entire season. The last time we saw him, he was left humiliated, abandoned, and betrayed by the one girl he thought would always choose him. And now, in Season 4, the trailer makes it clear. Jeremiah is not just moving on, he's changing. His smile is still there, but it's sharper now, almost forced. It feels like beneath that charm lies someone who is hurt, angry, and maybe even a little bit dangerous. Could Season 4 finally be Jeremiah's revenge story? Or will he shock everyone by finding love somewhere new? Either way, his presence in the trailer makes it clear. The triangle is not over, no matter how much Belly insists she has chosen Conrad. But perhaps the most shocking part of the trailer is not the love triangle at all. It's the atmosphere. Everything feels heavier, darker, more urgent. The soft nostalgia of summers at Cousins Beach is gone. What we see now are stormy skies, intense conversations, and a sense that something is about to shatter. It almost feels like Season 4 is no longer just about Belly choosing between 2 brothers. It's about what happens when love, loyalty, and family collide in ways that cannot be undone. And here's where things get even more suspenseful. There are flashes in the trailer that hint at new characters and new storylines. A mysterious new face at Cousins. A sudden argument between Laurel and Susanna's family. Even a glimpse of Belly walking away alone at night, crying. None of this is explained, but it's enough to make fans wonder, is this still Belly's love story, or has the saga turned into something much bigger? Something that could redefine the entire meaning of the summer I turned pretty. One thing is for sure, the trailer is carefully designed to leave us on edge. It gives just enough to spark theories, but holds back enough to keep us restless. It's a reminder that this story isn't done playing with our emotions. And judging by how Season 3 left so many threads hanging, Season 4 might finally be where everything comes crashing down, or where everything finally falls into place. If there's one thing this trailer makes clear, it's that Belly's choice has consequences. And not just for her. The fallout is spreading through every single character we've come to know over the seasons. And honestly, it doesn't look pretty. From the very first frames, we can feel the tension. It's not the dreamy romantic glow that fans might have been hoping for. Instead, it's raw, it's fragile, and it feels like the calm before a storm that could destroy everything. Let's start with Belly again. She finally has Conrad, the one she claimed she was always in love with, but the trailer shows us that getting the guy is not the end of the story. It's just the beginning of a whole new battle. We see flashes of her second-guessing herself, sitting alone, staring out windows, and looking almost lost. It's like she has everything she ever wanted, but she doesn't know what to do with it. And that is exactly the kind of subtle storytelling this series thrives on, because real love, especially at their age, is messy. It's full of doubt. And the trailer leans into that doubt in a way that's almost painful to watch. Now, Conrad? Oh boy. If you thought Season 3's version of Conrad was complicated, just wait until you see him in Season 4. He's with Belly, yes, but there's something off. His body language is closed off, his eyes are constantly shadowed, and every line he delivers in the trailer seems loaded with unspoken meaning. It's like he's holding on to her, but he's also afraid of losing her at the same time. And honestly, this is classic Conrad. He's never been the type to just let himself be happy. There's always a storm inside him, and the trailer suggests that Season 4 might finally show us the cost of all that inner turmoil. Because here's the truth. If Conrad can't find peace within himself, then no relationship, no matter how passionate, can truly survive. And that's where Jeremiah comes in. Because make no mistake, Jeremiah is not gone from this story. If anything, the trailer makes him look more important than ever. We see him smiling at Belly, but the smile doesn't reach his eyes. We see him laughing with friends, but his gaze lingers just a second too long on her. There's a bitterness there, an edge that fans haven't seen before. And it's terrifying because Jeremiah has always been the sunshine, the easy one, the safe choice. But in Season 4, it looks like we're getting a version of him who is no longer willing to play nice. Is Jeremiah about to break? Is he about to confront his brother in ways that could split their family apart? The trailer doesn't answer these questions, but it definitely sets them up in a way that makes it impossible not to worry. But let's not forget the families, because The Summer I Turned Pretty has always been about more than just Belly's love life. The trailer drops hints of new conflicts between Laurel and the Fishers, and those moments feel sharp, like knives being twisted. We see Laurel raising her voice, we see Julia storming off, and we even see Steven looking caught in the middle of some argument that he clearly doesn't want to be in. It's a reminder that the love triangle doesn't just affect the kids. It ripples through every single person in their lives. And this time, those ripples look more like waves, threatening to pull everyone under. And then there's the imagery. The Cousins Beach we all fell in love with, the warm sand, the golden sunsets, the innocent summer vibe. It's fading. In this trailer, we get stormy skies, gray tones, and scenes that feel more like autumn than summer. It's symbolic. The golden days are gone. What's left now is reality. And reality is so much harder to face. It's almost like the show is telling us, you wanted the romance, you wanted the happy ending, but now it's time to see what really happens when the fairy tale collides with the truth. And just when you think you've pieced it together, the trailer throws in flashes of something entirely new. A new character walking alongside Jeremiah. A new voice telling Belly that love is not enough. A shot of Conrad slamming a door. And perhaps most chilling of all, a single tear rolling down Belly's face as she whispers, "I don't know if I can do this." What does it all mean? The trailer doesn't explain, but that's the brilliance of it. It wants us to feel uneasy. It wants us to question everything. And it succeeds, because by the time those final seconds roll, the only thing you know for sure is that Season 4 is not going to be a simple continuation. It's going to be a reckoning. If Season 4 has one mission, it's this, to finally force these characters to face the choices they've been running from. And judging by the trailer, the series is done holding back. Every shot, every line of dialogue we get feels like a warning, like the walls are closing in on Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah. And honestly, it feels like everything we thought we knew about their relationships is about to collapse. Let's talk about the triangle, because yes, it's still alive. Fans might have thought Season 3 tied that story up, but the trailer proves otherwise. We see Jeremiah and Belly crossing paths more than once, and it's not casual. Their interactions feel loaded, heavy, like there's still something unresolved between them. And let's not forget, Jeremiah was not just Belly's rebound, he was her fiancé. They nearly built a life together. You can't just erase that history, and Season 4 looks like it's going to force Belly to confront that truth. There's even a split-second shot in the trailer. Jeremiah touching Belly's hand at a bonfire, and the look on Conrad's face when he sees it. That single frame tells us everything. This war isn't over. And here's the thing, Belly herself is no saint in all of this. The trailer makes her look conflicted, almost torn in two. We hear her voiceover saying, "I can't keep hurting the people I love." And that line alone feels like the beating heart of Season 4. Because Belly's biggest flaw has always been her inability to slow down, to stop and think before jumping into the next whirlwind of emotions. And now, after years of back and forth between the brothers, the trailer suggests that she might finally have to admit the damage she's done. Not just to Jeremiah and Conrad, but to herself. Meanwhile, Conrad's story is taking an even darker turn. There's a moment in the trailer where he's sitting alone in the beach house, staring at a letter in his hand, and he looks completely broken. Fans are already speculating that it's one of Susanna's letters, maybe something we never saw before. And if that's true, it could mean Conrad is still chained to his grief, still carrying the weight of his mother's words, and maybe even questioning whether Belly's love for him is real or just something Susanna planted in her head years ago. And that's the kind of psychological twist that could completely destroy this relationship from the inside out. Jeremiah, on the other hand, is giving off a completely different vibe this time. He's not the sweet, innocent boy anymore. There's a hardness to him now, like he's finally realized he can't just smile his way out of heartbreak. In one scene, we see him throwing something, maybe a glass, maybe a book, against the wall in frustration. And it's shocking because this is Jeremiah, the one who was always lighthearted, always carefree. Season 4 is hinting at a Jeremiah who is no longer willing to be the second choice, and that is dangerous. Because if Jeremiah starts playing for keeps, the entire balance of this love triangle shifts, and not in Belly and Conrad's favor. And let's not forget the supporting characters, because the trailer doesn't ignore them. Steven appears in multiple scenes, looking like he's stuck in the middle of the chaos. In one shot, he's yelling at Belly. In another, he's hugging Jeremiah. And then there's Taylor, who seems to be the only one giving Belly tough love this season. There's a brutal moment where Taylor says, "You can't keep breaking hearts and calling it love." And the silence that follows, chilling. It's almost like the writers are finally putting Belly on trial, and Taylor is the voice of reason we've all been waiting for. And then there's the backdrop itself. Cousins Beach doesn't feel like a safe haven anymore. It feels cursed. The once bright summer world is now shadowy and tense. The trailer shows rainstorms, empty boardwalks, and that iconic beach house looking less like a home and more like a battlefield. Every frame screams, this is the end of innocence. And maybe that's the entire point of Season 4, to strip away the fantasy and show us the consequences of all the messy, reckless choices that came before. But the most haunting part of the trailer? The ending. Belly, standing alone on the pier at night, whispering, "I don't know who I am without them." And then it cuts to black. No music, no answers, just silence. And that silence speaks louder than any words could, because it leaves us with the terrifying possibility that this story might not end with Belly choosing anyone. What if the real twist is that she walks away from both Conrad and Jeremiah for good? The summer I turned pretty. Season 4 is not here to give us comfort. It's here to make us squirm, to make us question, and to force us to look at these characters in a way we've never done before. The dreamy love triangle that once felt like a sweet teenage fantasy now looks more like a war zone, and the scars left behind are everywhere. Belly isn't the innocent girl we met in Season 1. Conrad isn't just the brooding boy at the beach. Jeremiah isn't the golden retriever heartthrob anymore. They've all changed, and not necessarily for the better. And this is exactly why the trailer hits so hard. It refuses to let us live in the past. It doesn't care about the nostalgia of Cousins Beach or the warm glow of first love. It's about growing up, about facing the brutal truth that love can destroy just as easily as it can heal. Every frame, every line of dialogue in that trailer screams that this is not the end of a love story. It's the breaking point. And for fans who thought Season 3 wrapped everything up too neatly, Season 4 is the reminder that nothing in this saga has ever been neat. It's always been messy, it's always been complicated, and now it's about to explode. But here's the real kicker. The trailer doesn't just raise questions about the love triangle, it teases something much bigger. Hidden in those quick flashes are glimpses of new drama. Family feuds boiling over, friendships cracking under pressure, and secrets that have been buried for years finally coming to the surface. And it makes you wonder, maybe this story was never really about choosing between Conrad and Jeremiah. Maybe it was always about Belly choosing herself, about learning who she is when the fantasy is stripped away. Because if the trailer is any indication, Season 4 is going to be about identity, about consequence, and about what happens when you can no longer run from the truth. And that's why the ending of the trailer is so haunting. Belly's voice, breaking as she admits she doesn't know who she is without the boys. It's not just sad, it's terrifying. Because it forces us to ask, is Belly strong enough to stand on her own? Or will this final season show us that the price of her choices is losing everything? Both brothers, both families, and maybe even herself. That's the cliffhanger the trailer leaves us dangling on, and it's brutal. So now the question becomes, how far will Season 4 go? Will Belly and Conrad survive, or will their romance finally crash and burn under the weight of reality? Will Jeremiah step back, or will he fight until the very end? Will the families ever recover from the chaos, or are they doomed to fracture forever? And most importantly, will Belly finally stop running from the truth, or will she keep making the same mistakes over and over again? The trailer doesn't answer any of it, and that's exactly why it works. It keeps us restless, it keeps us questioning, and it ensures that when Season 4 finally premieres, we'll all be right there, desperate for answers. One thing is for sure, this is not just another season. This is the final reckoning. So, what do you think? Is this the beginning of Belly's ultimate downfall, or will Season 4 finally give us the ending that fans have been begging for since the very beginning? Let me know your thoughts, because this story isn't done with us yet. And judging by that trailer, it's only going to get more complicated from here.